What's up everyone, Blade here, and welcome back to another video, Persona 5 the Phantom X. Inside of this video, guys, we're going to be going ahead and going over the top 5 characters that I believe have aged like fine wine. What I mean by this, guys, I mean these characters are still used today as well, are top meta characters if you wanted to invest into them. Now these units, without a doubt, for a lot of you guys, you're most likely going to be pulling for them in the long run, but I know some people of course aren't fully knowledgeable on this as well, so I decided to make a video about it as well. So if you guys do enjoy it, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. It really does help me out quite a lot, and if you're feeling nice enough, even leave a comment. It's freaking awesome here at the end of the day. But before we get into the video, I do have to say thank you guys for all the support recently. It's been actually amazing, especially on yesterday's video. I didn't think that would honestly do so good here, but hey, you guys seem to like to know a lot more about the future as well as knowing what's coming along the lines. So I'll be trying my hardest to give you guys as much information as possible when it does come down to it. But without further ado, let's get straight to the video. Hopping straight into our first character here at the top 5. This is going to be CHORD. Now you guys have heard my spiel about CHORD for ages here, and when she came banging on the 2.0 update for global, I have to say she came in just absolutely destroying everything. And the main reasoning for this is because she was the character that allows us not only to get up our attack, at least attack buffs and stuff like that, but also allowed us to really amplify our highlights. This not only boosts the damage that she was immediately putting out with the highlights that generating for our team, but this was also allowing us to instantly proc the highlight at the beginning of the battle or either in between the battle, depending on how much you invest into this character, which was immediately great because honestly no other character has been able to do something like this other than Yukari, but that's only for characters that are in the P3R range. Not to mention with different buffs that she's been getting recently, she's now able to actually shock on opponents here, which make not only just her healing and her highlights that are crazy things out of her kit, but now makes it so it's a little bit easier to crit with the rest of your characters as long as you can inflict the shock on the enemy. Really good buffer to say the least of the day, and even now she's still used, although she's a little bit waning in the current things, but ever since Fuka came on out here, she is definitely used in certain metas for different SOSs. So look forward into investing into this character. Let's move on to number 4. Going in with number 4 here, we have FUTABA, and this is a character that without a doubt you guys much know like CHORD is insanely good. She's able to of course have her weakness implants of a sword here, where pretty much everything that she is doing is good for your team. She's a very good offensive nabby, and when you go ahead and see that she's able to make it so enemy resistances or their affinities can now be converted a little bit differently, it is really nice to actually help you inside of combat. Alongside of this here, she's also able to make sure the enemy has increases, is obviously allowed to just take more damage in general, and all of this is pretty darn good, especially for a character who is a Navi here. She's able to do this lovely AoE defense shred, which is absolutely great to have on your team. She isn't too hard to build as well, so if you are a person who really wanted to go ahead and build the character, it'd be pretty darn easy at the end of the day. And if you did go for that extra dupe for that A1, she's also helping you out in the crit rate range. So obviously it's a good character that you really want to invest in, and even though it's been this long for her, I think we have 3 Navis that are now in rotation, being ANGE, FUTABA, as well as Fuka. She still hasn't went anywhere. The only place that she is at is always in SOS or always just a generalistic use anyways, so you're always going to be using this Navi, so it's best to invest into her. But we're going to go ahead and move on to our next character for the top 3. Going on to our next character, we have Winvast here, which is one of the few characters coming out to global very soon in version 3.3 most likely, as well as with the update for the main story. And this character is exceptionally good. She is the first crit damage 5-star buffer that we end up having in the entire game, and it's honestly cool to see what she brought to the table here. Not only was she just this lovely crit damage buffer here, but she was a character who needed one of the most stats that we honestly did not see a use for, being SP. The more SP that you end up having, the more she was able to boost this said crit damage, and then alongside of this she was also able to help out your attack and crit rate. So I mean, like, there was a lot of things that the character just brought to the table, and it absolutely revolutionized a lot of teams, especially when it came down to just damage markers. The good part about this character is at A0 she's perfectly ended up being fine here, but if you do want to have your rotation a little bit more refined or even nicer, you could go for the A1. So I mean, like, it honestly isn't going to hurt you too much. It honestly just depends on what you can use. And this character is insanely versatile. Any DPS that needs some buffs here, whether it's attack, crit rate, or crit damage, she has it all in one little package, and it does allow you to deal a ton of damage. Plus, of course, later down the line, you're going to get a lovely little outfit for her looking like this here. And who doesn't love the outfits? Let's be honest here. But we're going to move on to our next character. What's up guys, Blade here, and if you made it this far in the video, firstly, thank you very much for supporting the channel. And if you can as well, be sure to hit that like button and that subscribe button. It really does help me out a lot in the long run. And if you want to, comment down below who's your favorite character that you're excited to pull for. I'm excited to know, and continue on with the rest of your video. Enjoy. Going to our top 2 here, we have Turbo. Now Turbo is another character that is going to end up releasing very close to the anniversary, and this was in version 3.7. Turbo herself is another buffer that's insanely specialized in everything that you really want her to, whether it's coming down to absolutely helping out your attack, maybe giving you a little bit extra defense seeing that she can't apply a shield to you, or even just going ahead and giving you a lovely pin buff. This character does a lot more than you think. Plus, she's the only other character besides, like, I think 2 in total inside the entire game that has some form of extra action. This not only allows you to, of course, use her skill 1 in the first turn, but in the second turn, you're able to use both her skill 2 and her skill 3 that are absolutely being great to your effects that need to be applied. This character is really good. The only downside with her is she is a standard character, but out of all the standard characters, she's definitely the most worth one. With everything that she's able to do, she pretty much has squeezed herself in any and every last team here, especially after 3.0, where every team practically needs pin to survive. So being a pin related buffer, she does a ton for multiple teams here, and it's probably one of the best investments that you can use when you think about it here. Many of us didn't think that she would end up aging like crazy, but honestly, this is one of the most well-aged characters, to be honest, because she's just fitting in any and every team here, much like just a crit damage buffer, but for the pin related side. So with this in mind, we're going to go ahead and go into our next character. Lastly, taking the number 1 spot, which I know a lot of you guys probably saw this already, is going to be ANGE. Now ANGE is one of the characters that is just revolutionary to this entire game here, not only because she is the anniversary character, but also she is a character that just made any and every old character that she could make pretty much good. If you needed some form of pin, she had it for you. If you were able to, of course, have a 3-turn aspect that you needed to do a really powerful move, she had that for you, seeing that she can make it so any character that you put its buff on have a turn revert. Now turn revert is a little bit different from extra turns here. Pretty much if you are in a state like ANGE, for example, where you have her skill 3, got the burning flame there, and you do that giant meteor looking move, right? Well, she pretty much reverts that turn back to that previous state where you still have this flame on you, and you can do that meteor once again, and she's allowed to do this at least once per character, which is nice, or at least once inside of the battle, which is already good to have. Of course, you do have to wait a couple more turns or a bunch more turns for her to get back, but in that one turn that you end up doing that turn revert, you're usually doing a ton of damage here, which is absolutely insane. She also is able to do pretty darn good when it does come down to the buffs that she offers here, which is awesome. If you go for the A1 or A2, obviously you're getting some amazing buffs, but hey, you can also get yourself a revive, which is pretty darn interesting, seeing that the only other revive character that we have in their awarenesses is Marion, seeing that she gets that at her A6. But ANGE can actually end up doing this at A1, so it's a kind of cool thing, or at least at A2, sorry, which is a kind of cool thing to actually end up seeing here. The A1 itself is also providing you the crit rate, which all navies do enjoy, seeing they're able to share this with everyone's stats, and she's also able to do this as well. Plus, if you wanted to get that extra dip and actually wanted to be inclined to summon for her even more so, she can heal you with her skill 2. So it's pretty darn awesome to see what this character really is made of here. I think a lot of you guys are really going to enjoy her, seeing that she hasn't went anywhere at all ever since the anniversary. So I want to say she's definitely aging like fine wine here. But if you guys did enjoy this video, please do hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, share it, of course, leave a comment, and tell me what character are you most excited for pulling for. But for now, thank you for watching. Peace on out.